Whether you're fighting in the Spice Wars for Arrakis, bringing freedom to Super Earth, or just plumbing the depths of some long-forgotten dungeon, there's always time for a science mission. Hello there everyone, and welcome back down here to the Gamer's Den with me, your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire, bringing you another episode of Quick Tips for DMs. Today we are going to talk about how you can incorporate science or research-focused missions, adventures, or goals to your game, and add just another layer of variety and interest to it for yourself and your players. But before we get into all of that, if you're new here to the channel, go on down there, hit the subscribe button, and become a regular member here at the Gamer's Den. Or if you've already gone on ahead and listed yourself on such an incredible roster of legendary heroes, the mighty algorithm always needs more sacrifices and rights, so go on down to hit the like button and share the video far and wide. But now let's talk about what I mean exactly. So when it comes to different research-focused missions, any kind of information gathering, whether you're focused on flora, fauna, just the general environment, the locale that you're investigating, if it's geographical or geological, looking up all these different features, map making and the like, there's plenty of fun to be had with this because it can be so replete with dangers and also just adds that certain level of reality to these fictional settings. And what do I mean by that? Well, human beings, we always want to study and understand the environment around us for many different reasons. Some of us want to master it. Some of us want to exploit it. Some of us want to figure out how to live in tune with it. Whatever the case may be, whatever the goals or the motivations behind those goals are, it's still a thing that we just do, and so it would make sense that in fantasy settings this would happen as well. And there can be plenty of other reasons that go along with it. Knowing the different geographic features in a given territory can yield incredible information for tactical and strategic battle plans. It can also help to serve as hints for what resources might be located in that area, especially when you start adding in a geological aspect to it, starting to sink different mines or wells, plumbing the depths for whatever resources you can get your hands on, especially in areas that might otherwise be fairly resource poor. Finding any naturally occurring sources can sometimes be as much a metaphorical as literal gold mine in those instances. It can absolutely provide a wealth of information on top of actual wealth. So doing that can mean that the players are having a way of assisting that's more than just your standard hack and slash fare. You can still do that. I mean, these expeditions are meant to have some level of danger to them, if for no other reason than environmental factors. I mean, imagine exploring Antarctica, how harsh and inhospitable that place has historically been. Just even getting to the South Pole is a staggering undertaking in and of itself, and there's plenty of dangers abound that don't involve any degree of violence. The point is that there's just so much that you can do there, and you can still have your standard hack and slash adventure things happening. I mean, if the players are going on a geographical survey rather, and they happen across a cave system, well, now they might want to explore at least the outer range of that cave system to see if it goes any deeper, any further, is anything inhabiting it, or has anything lived in it. All of that's worthwhile to investigate because, well, if it's just bears living in there, I mean, that can be dangerous, but it's bears, they're in their natural habitat. But what if it's manticores? What if a young dragon has staked its claim in this area? Or what if this network goes deeper and runs further down? Most people might not be worried about the Underdark on the surface, but the knowledgeable might be, and presumably somebody has hired a knowledgeable person to help investigate these areas and have hired an intrepid group of explorers to make sure that this well-trained, well-informed, intelligent person, researcher, is going to be able to come back alive with their research notes. And so that is just inherently going to be a fairly interesting setting, and might be something that your players look at and go, huh, okay, so it's more of a protection run, but it's also investigate and gather whatever we can kind of run on top of fighting. Like, the fighting is the optional part. The fighting is the incidental part to the overall mission objective here. It's something your players can still relish and help to maybe spice things up a little bit, put them on their guard, and have them ready to go at a moment's notice while they're assisting with this research. So that can be just an incredible amount of fun in and of itself. But then, you can still go even further with it. Say that they already knew about this cave and that it goes deeper, that there's a deeper network. Maybe there's something else in there. Maybe it's not a dragon. Maybe it's a minotaur. Maybe it's an ancient labyrinthine maze-like network of tunnels that they can investigate, inhabited by all manner of different creatures that have just taken up residence here over the years, to the point that it's its own relatively enclosed ecosystem. You have different fungi growing down there. You have ankegs, you have formians, you have giant ants, giant spiders, goblins, mites, all different kinds of creatures. Kobolds, the mighty, ferocious, cunning kobolds. That can all be down in there. Or it can be the lost ruins of some ancient civilization or structure. It's a hidden place of worship deep down in this cave network. Anything like that is going to immediately set off the alarms for spooky, mystery, intriguing, what treasures might be down there, what wealth might have been hoarded in this place. And it can get even better if, say, the person that hires the party to escort this researcher to, or just to, even if there's no researcher, if they're just hired to investigate this place, somebody else can come along and go, hey, that guy that just hired you, yeah, he's already sent like 3 or 4 other adventuring parties in there, and none of them have come back yet. Neither have any of the other researchers, and I'm getting really worried about my colleagues at this point. So I want you to know what you're going into. Heads up, don't let him know, because if you let him know, he's going to know somebody told, and that's going to create a whole other host of problems. Just go there, try to find the other researchers or adventuring parties if you can, bring whoever's alive back alive, and obviously grab their whatever notes they might have had as well too. Same thing happened in Fallout New Vegas, basically, when you were sent off to investigate, I forget which vault it was, but it's overgrown with all of this plant growth, and you find all these different still functioning terminals, and it's loaded down with a lot of different research data, bits and files here and there about some of the different activities or events or incidents that took place inside the vault. And you can absolutely do the same thing with this scenario in a fantasy setting or another sci-fi setting. Whatever kind of setting you choose, you can easily do this, and this already adds on a layer of intrigue to what is already primarily a research and now a rescue mission. But now there's also this layer of, okay, we're not being told everything that's going on, and we're going into an actively dangerous environment. It still is going to be your standard dungeon delve kind of a thing, but just even those few layers padded out on top of it gives the players new objectives, new things to look out for. They're going to be on a higher level of alert and better prepared for what might be going on down there. So all the way around, having a little bit of science and research in your adventures and missions can be an incredible amount of fun. But what do you think? Go on down to the comments below and let me know your thoughts. Did you like today's video? Did you dislike it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and don't forget, the algorithm likes it when you hit the like button, and if you haven't done so already, go on down to hit the subscribe button. But with all that said, I've been your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire. Thank you all so very much for your time, and you folks all have yourselves a good night.